This is Jake Rosen.
In a 52-page ruling, U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer found that the president and his administration violated the Posse Comitatus Act, an 1878 law that prohibits the use of the military for domestic law enforcement. Breyer blocked the Trump administration from deploying or using the National Guard currently deployed in California or any military troops in the state for civilian law enforcement.
But the judge said the troops still remaining don't have to leave. On social media today, President Trump called Chicago the most dangerous city. He's considering federal action there. Now to Washington, correspondent Nicole Killian reports Congress is back with action needed soon to head off a possible government shutdown.
You have a lot of concern with the, quote, big, beautiful bill that Congress passed as well. Obviously, that was a Republican bill, but Democrats remain concerned about those cuts to Medicaid and SNAP and really feel that this could be an opportunity with respect to government funding to try to leverage some of those issues to try to maybe restore some of that funding.
Overseas, a landslide wiped out an entire village in Sudan's Darfur region, and a rebel group controlling the area is appealing for international aid. CBS's Ramy Inocencio.
Local sources indicate that between 300 and 1,000 people may have been killed. And if it does end up being at that top end, then that would make this landslide one of Sudan's deadliest natural disasters in modern times.
There have been powerful aftershocks reported today near the epicenter of a major earthquake in Afghanistan, where the death toll tops 1,400. Jerusalem reporter Linda Gradstein tells us additional forces have been called up in Israel.
The call-up of reserves comes as Israel prepares to take over Gaza City after ordering the 1 million Palestinians who live there to move to safe zones in the south of Gaza. Hebrew media report that many reservists have requested exemptions for personal or financial reasons, and units are seeing lower turnout than in previous emergency call-ups.
A stock market dip today is being blamed on Friday's court ruling against President Trump's tariffs. Strategist Michael Farr.
There could be a court challenge to President Trump's tariffs, and that many of the revenues collected would have to be returned. That was unwelcome news for markets this morning that really do hate uncertainty.
Right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 540 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A violent night in Seattle. Details coming up at first. KIRO Newsradio traffic. East of Tacoma, one lane is blocked on State Route 167 northbound near 40th Street East. In Seattle, the crash has been cleared from I-5 northbound near Olive Way, and in Federal Way, the crash has been moved over to the shoulder on northbound I-5 at 320th. Traffic getting by nicely. Travel times: Everett to Seattle 31 minutes, Federal Way to Seattle 1 hour, Renton to Bellevue 40 minutes. Still waiting for those lake bridges to clear out. Traffic brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Save 50 to 75% by combining tax credits, rebates, and incentives. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. One person is in custody after a shooting overnight in Seattle's First Hill neighborhood. Police tell the Seattle Times a 28-year-old was taken to a hospital in serious condition. No word on what led up to the gunfire. One person was shot in the leg on Aurora Avenue North in Seattle yesterday. Police say they found blood and multiple bullet casings at the scene. The victim turned up later after he crashed his car on the ramp to the ER at Harborview Medical Center. A beloved Seattle musician killed in a Wallingford arson in June was honored over the weekend at a service. KIRO 7 TV's Deborah Horn spoke with the victim's family and friends.
Rebecca Duran, a retired jazz singer and Clee's best friend, and Duran's husband, Jay Thomas.
And we used to play for the Seafair Float.
Yeah, she played the alto sax in our big band. And she played the alto sax in the West Seattle Orchestra.
Those cherished friendships came to a sad end in June. Someone set fire to Clee's home on Sunnyside Avenue North with her inside, killing her.
The search for the arsonist continues. The woman who was killed when a car crashed into a Kirkland grocery outlet has been identified now as Sheila Stanton. That's what her church tells KIRO 7 TV. Several people were injured in the crash that stunned shoppers Sunday.
It makes you realize any given moment, right? Things like that can happen, but certainly don't expect it.
Police say this may be just a tragic accident involving an elderly driver, but they are running blood tests to see if drugs or alcohol was involved. Over the weekend, loved ones of a missing Arlington man held a walkathon on his 22nd birthday to encourage people to keep looking for him. His father tells KIRO 7 TV.
I just feel I have to do something, and this is one way that I can feel as if I'm with him.
Jonathan Wong, who is autistic, wandered away from his home in March and may have been spotted on a Kirkland Ring camera in June. Seattle soccer fans are calling it one of the most impressive victories ever.
The Sounders are going to win Leagues Cup!
The Seattle Sounders FC walloped Inter Miami CF 3-0 in last night's League Cup 2025 final at Lumen Field. They defeated a team that has superstar talent led by one of the sport's best, Lionel Messi. It's Seattle's first ever Leagues Cup title. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 62 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday. It is September 2nd. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. Ursula is going to be out today. Don't worry, she'll be back tomorrow. But filling in from Ursula is your friend, my friend, our friend, everybody's friend, Angela Poe Russell. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning. I love that welcome. I feel so loved.
I've introduced you and welcomed you a few times. So I just put a little something on it.
Sauce on it. I like it.
Have a good weekend?
It was wonderful.
Okay,
thank you.
Good. Chef, good to have you back, brother. Nick, good to see you, my man. Listen, we got a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about. At 9:30, it is back to school. We'll be talking about those. If you should post that picture, if you should not, which means back to school pencils, bad influences, all kinds of stuff circled and centered around.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Back to school. But right now, let's get to it. Top stories of the day, brought to you by Bad Fitter Northwest.
A woman known for her big heart and service to the community is being remembered this morning. You heard some of the headlines. Sheila Stanton killed while shopping at grocery outlet in Kirkland's Bridal Trails Shopping Center. Kirkland police say a 74-year-old woman smashed through the store's front entrance just before 2 o'clock, killing Stanton and injuring 3 others, including a mother and child. According to KIRO 7, a 12-year-old has major injuries. The child mother has severe injuries. Both are expected to be okay. Now, Stanton was an active member of St. John's Episcopal Church, where she hosted a monthly community dinner for the hungry in partnership with the Muslim community group. The pastor of the woman killed described the news as a gut punch to the community. Professionally, Stanton was a bailiff and served as commissioner with the Washington State Commission on African American Affairs. The driver has not been detained, and police are waiting for blood results. We do know she's 74 years old, and authorities think it was an accident. And whenever this comes up, this begs the question about where we are on policy, because it is a fact that as soon as you hit the age of 70, your risk of having an accident and being killed in an accident skyrockets.
Yeah. Before I started getting to all, there's a chef printed out some stuff for us that started to get into the scientific things about what doctors can do and the rules and the laws when people are above a certain age and if you should take mama's or papa's keys and all that. First, let me ask you a question. Have you ever, Angela, left a car and drive and tried to get out of the car?
No. But I've been around it when it's happened. I had teaching my teen to drive. It happened when I was like, "Where are you going?"
Well, let me throw myself under the bus.
Okay.
I have.
Okay.
I've done that. Have you ever had your car in reverse, but you thought it was in drive, and you go to drive?
I have done that. Yes.
Right. I can continue doing this and peppering you and everybody listening with these questions. All I'm saying is obviously this in Kirkland is a tragic accident. That's number one. Number two, we as people, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, we all make mistakes behind the wheel. My question and my thing towards everyone is we need to do a better job to make sure that these stores are protected, and that way that can't happen. Because sometimes you have to fail-proof these things. You see, you've gone to stores before, you see the bricks in front of there and everything. I think that this is an unfortunate situation, but I don't think you could have to be in your 70s for mistakes like this to happen. This can happen in your 30s or in your 20s.
That's fair. And there is a store, they had a car smash into it in my neighborhood. It was more of a robbery. But since then, they have put up these barriers that it would make it really difficult for a car to hit it. So valid point. However, we can't deny that as you get older, your vision significantly changes. We can't deny that your reaction time changes. And that is why some states have implemented policies. So here's a question for you. Washington was considering a bill that would require, I want to say the age was 70, and you'd have to take a driver refresher course, like something basically that was catered to you and the challenges that you might have as a driver. But it ended up dying. It hasn't happened yet. It was something that was supposed to. So would you be for something like that in addition to the things that you talked about with the stores?
I'd be for a refresher course at 40. Yes.
But I feel like you're denying that changes happen, and I get that because we're all going to hit it.
Whoa. I am not denying, because the next thing that I want to tell you, I know for a fact, taking myself, my hand-eye coordination is nowhere near what it used to be. I am so much more. Let me tell you, Angela, I drop stuff way too much now.
I know, right?
And nobody's looking, but I know I am clumsy today more so than before. So I'm not denying that changes don't happen. What I am saying is that I think people just automatically assume that at the age of 70 that it starts. I'm saying that some of these problems exist in 30s, 40s, and 50s. You got people out here driving around, need to see glasses. The lights got streaks. If you're looking out your car and the lights have streaks, that means you need to go get glasses.
Oh yeah, I had to get glasses. Yeah, here's what I come from a family. Oh yeah, it's they call it stigmatism. So
if you see the lights, if you look at it's like when you go to take a picture with your camera phone, and you see that means you need to clean your lens. But in real life, that means you got to go get
those
some
are
glasses.
my eyes.
Yes.
But here's I come from a family. We have some eye conditions, and so my mom voluntarily stopped driving because she could no longer see in a way that was safe. And these sometimes you do know people at any age that you're like, oh, they really shouldn't be, or you're nervous about them. And if it's an uncomfortable conversation, you can do the end run and go to the DOL. You can report them to the DOL, and the DOL will. Now you do have to provide some kind of evidence. Yeah. But I was relieved that there was at least a process.
Before we get off this topic, I want to ask this: is it easy to have that discussion with your loved one? If anybody's listening right now, by the way, I've never have. It was done for me. If anybody has ever had the conversation with their loved one about taking the keys, please text in and let me know, because I don't know what that's like. I've never seen it. I've never heard it. I can only imagine how awful that would be to have the conversation, and also how awful it would be to have the keys taken away.
Yeah, and let me just add this, because I'm a person that I don't see the same. I do wear glasses. Mm-hmm. If someone's driving slower on the highway, it could be for a reason. As long as they're not in the fast lane, let them sit there. Now, of course, you're not going below the minimum, but give it a rest and just go around, because sometimes people need to drive 50 instead of 60.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, let's get to
I've gotten better.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I've gotten, in my 20s, I was real bad about that, and now I understand.
You're like, they might need to drive 50. You just keep driving 50, okay? Let's go to the next top story. Labor Day protests this year had a different focus than previous ones. Yesterday, several hundred people gathered outside the Northwest ICE processing center in Tacoma to call attention to what they describe as inhumane conditions for migrants. According to Fox 13 News in Seattle, activists came from across the country to shed light on complaints that detainees face dire conditions inside these facilities, including food that is raw or infested with maggots and little to no access to medical treatment. Fox 13 spoke to Terry Valen, a member of the International Migrant Alliance.
Yeah, the detention centers are at an overcapacity right now, and so they're having to release folks. They're not giving people due process, the full court proceedings that they need, either to get out of detention or out of deportation proceedings. But even when they are, several, like Kuya Max here, was released. He's here with his union and community members who've helped him to get out of detention. But he was unjustly detained, and so many more are facing that unjust detention.
Demonstrators say yesterday's event is part of a larger resistance movement. They criticized the Trump administration's immigration policies, saying deportations are intensifying. Families of mixed status are increasingly fearful. Meanwhile, at least two other groups protested yesterday. Workers Over Billionaires and the Indivisible group rallied around the sound in Seattle, Lake Forest Park, Shoreline, Des Moines, Tacoma, Bothell, Coopville, Maple Valley, Port Orchard, Milton. And I have to tell you, G, I love this. I love this because, you know, oftentimes we've had listen, it's been a rough decade, I feel like, in terms of just the different things we've gone through as Americans. And people have protested. There have been incidents that things have gotten violent. And I think it's so important when people show up and there's a peaceful protest and they're trying to get their message across. The least we can do is listen. The least we can do is listen, because when we don't listen, I think things do escalate. And I think this is the time when people are making their voices heard in this way. We should listen to what they have to say.
Yeah, I love that you brought this topic to us and talking about, because it feels and seems like you made a very good point this morning. It feels like that the protests that are peaceful, the ones where there's no incidents, we're not giving any bad news about it. It's just we're talking about it. I wonder if people really do pay attention, because some people don't believe that they do. And it seems like what leads the news is some of the protests where it has unfortunately gotten violent.
Yeah, fires, explosions,
and then what happens is we talk about it amongst ourselves and within family or coworkers, and then we say things like, "Well, why can't they be peaceful?" And then when they're peaceful,
they don't get the news coverage.
They don't get the news coverage. So I am glad that you brought this up. As far as what is happening with detention centers, and I think that we're not really surprised by this, because we have seen in the public, in broad daylight, how so many aren't getting due process. So you can only imagine, if they're not getting due process in broad daylight, out in the open, in front of our faces, what do you think is like behind closed doors?
There's no supervision. And the thing is, in some ways, this reminds me of why. Okay, here's the question.
Okay.
Being detained and kept away from your family, your friends, and your job, is that a punishment?
Yes.
It's a huge punishment, right?
Yes.
So now we're going to add to it by treating you inhumanely. And we're going to, you know, some of the allegations. Look, I know what happened. I've had relatives incarcerated. I know what happens behind those doors. And I think we all should be demanding that people be treated in a humane way.
Right.
Because those people who are incarcerated, most of them will get out. And do you want them to behave as humans? And if you want them to behave in a human way, treat them like it.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get to our next top story. Okay, I love this one. Costco's new policy reinstating early shopping for executive members is now in full effect. Starting today, Costco plans to strictly enforce its latest perk, which gives that exclusive hour-long shopping window in the morning for its higher-paying members. Now, this policy was announced a few months ago, but they allowed this grace period in July and August.
Okay.
So here's how it goes. Executive members get early access 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on weekdays and Sundays, and from 9 to 9:30 on Saturdays. So Saturday is your only 30-minute day. The others are an hour. Gold and business members who arrive during the executive hour, you could be turned away. So that's what's the different than a few months ago. According to company data, executive members make up 73% of Costco sales, even though they represent less than half of their memberships. So they make up less than half of the membership, but they're buying most of the stuff. And this aligns with its competitor Sam's Club that has long offered this exclusive early morning shopping. And I remember, Costco used to have this for executive members, and then they got rid of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm delighted to have it back. One thing you should know, as a consolation to this early shopping for executive members, they are going to extend the hours in the evening for everybody on Saturdays. The cost for a Gold Star membership, $65. That's up from $60, so a little bit of an increase.
Yep.
Executive memberships, $130, up from $125.
And plus executive membership, you get that check at the end.
You get the cash at the end. Listen, I was so mad when they got rid of that. I was like, what do you mean? So I am happy that it's back.
Yeah.
And I showed up before they were strictly enforcing it. It was still really crowded. I was like, are they going to enforce this? Or are they going to, I want my rights.
So
this is my version of first class. This is the closest to first class I'm getting right now.
So this benefit, you really love this.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I do too. I just wish, because I think it was during COVID, right? We had a time during COVID where we had our elderly population. Well, they don't like that. My seasoned brothers and sisters was getting to go shopping early. I wish we could have that across the board.
I love that for seniors. It's so much. It's too much to go shopping, and it is like combat in these stores.
Right.
I love the idea of allowing seniors in.
So while I do love this, it's crazy that this is something that if you pay more for, you get this, right? So it's one of those things, like I feel guilty championing this benefit for, hey, all the people that pay more for their membership, you get to come in early.
Do you feel guilty in first class?
Man, why are we talking about plates?
Okay, here's where I'm going with it. Ta-ta, yeah. Here's where I'm going with it. I feel like this is a first class that most people could do and stretch if they wanted to. Whereas first class, I can't eat, it's not even in my air. But my first class of Costco, get that check back at the end, get this.
Okay.
What do y'all think?
Well, okay, no, you kind of got me on that one. I keep thinking about the sugar daddies out there. You know, there's some sugar daddies that's saying right now, hey, you get to come with me an hour before the store opens. I got the card.
Get that hot dog.
I got the card. Open up. And let me tell you why it's important. Because you know it's back to school shopping right now.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Back to school shopping is a real thing. You call Cleophas. Cleophas, come on over here. I got that executive membership. Store open up an hour early. You come on shopping with me. Come on now.
Is that like the VIP club when you're in your 40s?
Dang! Wow! Wow!
Look. If my family listening right now, listen. My mama Scott, right? My mama Scott had this guy by the name Mr. Johnny. I don't even know his real government name. I don't even know if his government name was Johnny, but we called him Mr. Johnny. And he'd always be there when we get there after school, Mr. Johnny. And Mr. Johnny used to say, hey, time for candy and stuff like that. Give us some money, go get some candy, go to the store. Hey,
so Costco will be that thing.
Come on now.
Take the kid.
People don't act like the Mr. Johnnies of the world ain't been saving families' lives for generations.
Would y'all be okay? So for those of you single, would someone offering you a trip to Costco, would that be? Listen,
you're not supposed to fall into my crazy behavior. You're supposed to separate yourself, Angela.
Okay, all right.
Okay, it's back to school time, which means backpacks, pencils, and bad influences. We'll tackle what parents should do when their kids' friends are trouble. Have you ever been in a situation where you don't like your kids' friends? Next, Gee and Ursula with Angela.
The John Curley Show.
In-N-Out Burger, is that the ones with the old-fashioned 1950s hat on and stuff like that?
Weekdays 3 to 7.
They definitely used to. I don't know.
I think they still have that.
Yeah,
they're
probably.
incredibly courteous service. I noticed that as well.
Yeah, they're
second only to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, those people are so kind. You could, while you're waiting in line, they baptize your child. Spay and neuter people. Dogs, anyway, yeah.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the final days of Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind and the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Lake Washington Windows Autumn Savings Event is on now. Save $500 per window, $1,000 per door, plus 12 months same as cash financing with Lake Washington Windows.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
And Julio makes the catch. No fly
here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch, and the strike three called, and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Be here for the stretch run at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are kicking off their next homestand with a 3-day Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway against the Cardinals, September 8th to 10th. Plus, don't miss the final Mariners fireworks night of the season, September 12th against the Angels, presented by T-Mobile. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. It is a rough morning for the stock market. Chief market strategist Michael Farr.
Markets and investors always hate uncertainty, and this new question about tariffs introduces a lot of it.
There's uncertainty because a federal appeals court ruled President Trump's reciprocal tariffs are illegal, but can stay in place while the case is appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. A judge has ruled it was illegal for President Trump to send the National Guard to Los Angeles during immigration protests. The judge says the military cannot be used for domestic law enforcement. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
What is really clear here is that the courts are starting to set limits on what Trump can do with the National Guard.
The ruling will likely be appealed as Trump considers sending troops to other cities. But a mayor in Illinois is saying not here.
We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago.
The White House border czar has suggested sending the National Guard also to L.A., New York, Portland, and Seattle. Demonstrators gathered in Seattle and other cities for Liberty marches.
Hundreds joined the national protest called Workers Over Billionaires. They marched through Capitol Hill to the Mexican consulate, where KIRO 7 TV captured Attorney General Nick Brown talk about protecting workers' rights.
All of us trying to work collectively to make Washington State a better, a safer, and a healthier place.
Hundreds at the march protested several other issues as well, from cuts to Medicaid to the U.S. role in Gaza. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
In Gaza, authorities say the need for food, water, and basic supplies is dire. Ahmed Kamal Janina is an assistant professor there.
It is a battle for survival. People are struggling on a daily basis.
A new earthquake has hit Afghanistan as the country works to recover from the powerful 6.0 magnitude quake that rocked the country Sunday. At least 1,400 have died. At least 85 climate scientists are rejecting a recent report published by the U.S. Energy Department. CBS's David Schechter explains.
Major reports like the ones from the UN, those could take hundreds of scientists years to complete, and they debate every aspect of their work in public. The work is then peer-reviewed by outside experts. By contrast, the Department of Energy report, which we're all talking about now, was written by 5 scientists hand-selected by the government. They wrote the report in just a few weeks. There was no public scrutiny or any outside peer review of their work.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 530 points, NASDAQ off 374. KIRO News Radio traffic in Seattle, a crash is partially blocking the I-5 southbound collector distributor off-ramp to South Dearborn Street. East of Tacoma, it looks like your crash was cleared from State Route 167 northbound near 40th Street East. Just a bit of a slowdown right now through Pacific. Travel times Everett to Seattle, 23 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 52. Renton to Bellevue, 35. And your lake bridges are nearly clear. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 62 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
A sheriff in the state of Washington calls the mayor of Seattle a buffoon and also asked the question if there should be a ban for trans people on owning guns. We will share who that sheriff is and talk about that coming up next. But right now, it is back to school time, which means backpacks, lunch bails, and sometimes bad influences are on the docket. So here's one for the parents out there. What do you do when your kid's best friend is bad news? Maybe they have a buddy who's always getting your kid in trouble, or your daughter has a friend who seemingly turned her into a stranger. The Atlantic got a piece out today that argues banning your child from hanging out with that kid who's troubled almost never works. In fact, it usually backfires. Psychologists call it reactance theory. Basically, the second you forbid your teenager from doing something, that's exactly what they want to do. So what's a parent supposed to do? The Atlantic's advice? Don't try to prevent your kids from hanging out with someone you don't approve of. Instead, make your home a stronger magnet. Keep the snack drawer stocked. Keep a seat open at the dinner table. The tough part? Sometimes you got to watch them learn lessons the hard way. You have to trust the foundation of values you've taught them. They will stick and stick around a lot longer than the friends that come and go. Angela, I just want to say, before you get into this, I'm just going to tell you, this ain't just for kids. This for adults, too. We all got that one friend that tells him, girl, he just ain't good for you, and they didn't want to listen, and they thought you was a hater. But go ahead. I want to hear what your advice is on this.
I just knew that I would be able to influence my kid to go a different direction because I grew up in the South. I remember when I was a tween, my mom saying, no, you're not hanging out with her anymore. And that was the end of that. But I wasn't driving yet. I wasn't, I wasn't older. But I thought it would still translate. I was wrong. I experienced this. I knew that this person was bad news. And she basically, it backfired, right? And so when I realized that she was just digging in, my what's the word? My strategy. There you go, because I had to have a strategy. So my strategy was to include and to invite this person to things and to make it a welcoming environment. But I still let my daughter know how I felt, but I didn't beat it like a dead horse.
Sure.
So this is how I feel, find out for yourself. And sure enough, it unveiled itself. But it was that article. I hate saying these articles with parenting experts are right, but my lived experience, as they would say, is you have to have my strategy is to what they said, make your place a welcoming thing. Still let your kid know how you feel because when they're in that situation, your voice is going to be in the back of their head like a broken record.
Right. This lesson actually comes to me and to you all by my mama.
Okay.
Years ago when I was a kid. And she really had it dialed in, and it really taught me when I became a parent. If you don't like that friend of your child and you're seeing things that they're doing, you don't like that they seem to be doing this, and I know they're doing that, and I heard that they were smoking and that they were caught doing all these things. My mom told me, I know what you're doing based off of what I see your friends doing.
Ooh.
And it hit me, or just like that. Like my mom, like sometimes we are really so quick to blame the other child, right? The reason why my son or daughter is in trouble is because they hang out with this person, right? And my mom would really just say, no, this is you. This is on you. So she would put more of the burden and pressure on me and wonder, what are you doing? And the thing is I'm not trying to say all the time this is correct. I'm saying most of the time. Most of the time, if your parent has a problem with the friend, most of the time, then the child is partaking in most of the things that friend's doing. That's why they're friends. The old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Now, I don't know if there's any psychologists out there and who want to give you a strategy, but I did like the strategy of opening up your house, because I will say that my house was the place where you could come and get some, well, I wouldn't say that open, but it had the soda and the drinks and all that. But
yeah. So let me ask you this. When I look back at the friends I had in high school that were into some really not great things, I actually wasn't doing some of the things they were doing. And I'm trying to think about why I hung out. It's interesting. Psychologically, I've heard sometimes that the person that isn't doing the thing, they kind of get a rush from watching the other people. I don't know if that's my case. I'm saying that could be one theory. Maybe it's stuff they want. I don't know. I don't know why I had these friends. They were doing all kinds of stuff that I never did.
Well, let's make it simple.
Okay.
If your child has a bunch of friends that all like to go watch hockey, right? Chances are your child likes hockey. It's not rocket science, right? Like you are who you hang around, both child and adult.
So what do you make of my situation? I wasn't doing the things these girls were doing, but we were friends.
I think there's things that you're not telling us that you did. What? You did some stuff, Angela.
You really did.
No, I had some friends like that who, it was like they got some sort of gratuitous satisfaction about watching other people make dumb mistakes, and they enjoyed being part of the fun group. But one of the issues with this article is that it assumes that you know all your kids' friends. Do you honestly believe that you knew all your kids' friends in high school? Because my parents did not know half of the kids that I hung out with.
It depends on if you snatch the phone when they're sleeping.
Snatch the phone when they're sleeping?
Did I just tell it myself?
Gee, what do you think about that?
Snatching the phone?
Well, I will go through the phone. Okay, first of all,
I didn't. I didn't. But hey, listen, I think today's parenting, this is why I say it's hard. I think things were different 10 years ago. I think we're in a new day now. I think a parent not going through a child's phone today, that would be pretty tough. You probably have to.
I've found
things are different.
I listen, based on things I've been able to find out about people and situations, I have no regrets of going through the phone.
Okay,
none.
Before we get off this topic, I'm going to say something, and this is a trust tree, y'all, so y'all know I've known Angela, we've known Angela, so I'm just going to, I need to get this on my chest. You know what you remind me of?
Oh, gosh.
You was the child in school, and everybody thought was goody two-shoe. So you had an image. And so what you did is you hid around some of the folks that were probably getting into trouble. So you would get in trouble, but not that much trouble. So most people weren't noticing you. They was just noticing all your friends. Angela, the things that you was doing in high school, you was just flying up under the radar. Because you knew if you got some of those trouble, you knew your mom and dad. Was your dad law enforcement?
Oh, he was.
He didn't play, did he?
He did not. And the people at the school, when I even tried to go down a path, they called home. That was the end of that.
Same.
Dorothy shut that down.
Okay, coming up next, a sheriff here in the state of Washington called the mayor of Seattle a buffoon. And he also asked the question if trans people should be banned from owning guns. We'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula with Angela.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Captain John Kelly with the Salvation Army. The Seattle Addiction Recovery Program helps men break free from addiction at no cost to them through physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. That's why our success rate is nearly 4 times the national average. While participants pay nothing, it costs the Salvation Army about $10,000 to help one person graduate into recovery. Want to help? Join us for the Red Shield Classic Golf Tournament, September 11th at Echo Falls. Register or donate at tsaredshieldclassic.org. Together, we can change lives.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99. And we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale. Now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental car is included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Hey, football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. To celebrate, Bathfitter's offering payments as low as $125 a month. Ursula Reutin here. I chose Bathfitter Northwest because they work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed in as little as 1 day, and every installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation. This special offer won't last.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It is the Gee Ursula Show. Hey, just want to let you guys know what's going on in the show today. 11 o'clock, Eduardo Jordan, 2-time James Beard Award winner, will join the show, and we will be talking about restaurants and the continuation of them being closed down here in the city of Seattle. We'll get to the bottom of that. But right now, over the weekend, the Pierce County Sheriff took to X with a pressing public safety question. Do you think it's time to ban trans people to own guns? Sheriff Keith Swank eventually edited his post to read, do you think it's time to ban trans people from owning guns? He also took to X a few days ago and says, Bruce Harrell, who is the mayor of Seattle, a buffoon, is trying everything he can to be more left than his opponent. But he's going to lose in November because Seattle is lost and he can't be woke enough. This morning, he writes, last night, a reporter from KIRO sent an email to my PIO wanting to know our social media policy. It's obvious this person wants to silence me. Here's the policy. I am the sheriff, and I can say whatever I want. Angela Poe Russell, your thoughts on this?
Why are we covering Swank? That's my question. I go back to, I'm forgetting the year, but let's say it was before
15.
President Trump. And he would say all these outrageous, offensive, rude, disrespectful, inappropriate things. And the media kept covering it, thinking it was funny because he would never be elected. And it made him this cult hero because people were like, yeah, he just says what's on his mind. He's not thinking. He's just shooting from the hip. He's being authentic. He's being real. And somehow that made you qualified for public office. And so I'm now looking at this person who basically that term that he just used for the mayor, who's a person of color, by the way, kind of has a little, in my view, it has some racist roots. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't strike me that is not a good word to be using.
Right.
On top of this dumb question he just asked. I mean, what a dumb question. It's dumb. Mm-hmm. It's like, what? Like, show me where data backs up your question. So if these were, let me finish. If these were valid questions or comments he was making, trust me, I would tell you. I'm not a partisan person. I would tell you. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, why are we giving this person air? Why are we giving them space? Mm-hmm. That is I just think he doesn't even deserve a platform.
So,
hey, look, no offense.
So Angela, in this situation, when you have, and by the way, no other sheriff in this state acts this way. And so when you have this happening, and by the way, I've talked to some people with the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, and he's an embarrassment. But do we just ignore it? Do you think that would be better if people? Because the interesting thing is I'm not saying you're wrong. Because if you go to the comments, and 90% of the comments are backing him. 90% of the people are really encouraged by what he's saying. They love that he's saying this. And as far as the whole thing about him coming out and saying and asking a question, hey, is it time to maybe think about banning trans folks from owning guns? Now, that is favorable for some people. Imagine right now if I were to jump on social media. Again, I did not say this. I am not saying this. But when I look at a post like that from him on X, that would be like me getting on X and asking a question. Hey, should priests be banned from being alone with children? Now imagine if I said something dumb like that. By the way, I don't want anybody to say, well, G said, no. I'm just giving you an example of how outrageous that would be.
It's just dumb, right?
And I'm just a radio host.
Right.
Imagine if I was a sheriff. Imagine if I was a sheriff of Pierce County asking a question like that. Imagine if I had men and women in the sheriff's department that worked for me, looked to me to be their boss. So on one hand, I hear what you're saying. On another, this is news that people get to see. And by the way, if this is going to be celebrated, we're basically saying then this is going to be how all of our sheriffs are going to be in the future. Is that what we want? But it doesn't matter what your politics are. I mean, you could be a sheriff. Matter of fact, I'm quite sure that there are sheriffs that are conservative. But is that a conservative view? I want to ask. Is a conservative view asking questions if trans should be banned from owning guns? I know that's not, actually. I know, if anything, conservatives really believe in the right when it comes to the 2A, Second Amendment.
I just have a question for any of you who support this kind of rhetoric, this kind of talk, and you support it by putting your vote behind it. Is this what you'd want for your family? Is this what you want for your community? Is this what you want for our country? Because where we are right now is more divided than we have ever been. And I just can't imagine that we think we are going in a good direction as a community. Yeah. We have to do better. And it may feel good in the moment to hear that kind of stuff because someone's saying what you're feeling, but there's a better way. There's a better way. And that's the kind of stuff we need to embrace.
Yeah. All right. Shout out to you, Andy in Newcastle. Thank you. That was a good one that you gave me to say there. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we will give you what's new at 10. Remember, at 11 o'clock, Eduardo Jordan is going to join us. He will be live here in studio. We got more news for you next. Gee and Ursula with Angela.
The John Curley Show.
I told my wife once that you can tell the temperature outside.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You count the number of chirps that a cricket makes in 15 seconds, and you multiply that by 4, and that tells you the outside temperature. All right, you know what?
What kind of formulas?
I'm going to look it up. And you know what? You're going to be eating your words in there, Mr. Laffy, traffic, laffy.
Okay. The John Curley Show. Weekdays 3 to 7. Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
At Care Partners Senior Living, we believe in providing quality care at an affordable price. Instead of spending on luxury and expensive art, we invest in our people and accommodations with a focus on compassionate overall health. Our communities offer independent, assisted living and memory care designed to preserve dignity, independence, in your estate. Affordable, personal, trusted. That's our promise. Please give us a call. We have beautiful Care Partners communities throughout Washington and Arizona. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan. $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill. But those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Tap GoodRx. Saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. California Governor Gavin Newsom posts in all caps on social media, Donald Trump loses again. It's his response to a federal ruling on a case the state brought against the Trump administration over deployment of National Guard troops and Marines in L.A. CBS's Michael Wallace.
District Judge Charles Breyer says the administration violated the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 when it sent the troops to accompany federal agents on the immigration raids. That act prohibits the use of the Army and Air Force for domestic law enforcement purposes. The administration has argued the Posse Comitatus Act doesn't apply because the troops were protecting federal officers, not enforcing laws.
Now to Washington, CBS's Natalie Brand on what's ahead for members of Congress who are back in D.C.
Lawmakers back from summer recess already face a September 30th funding deadline to avoid a government shutdown. Democratic leaders are calling for a bipartisan meeting and accuse Republicans of threatening to go at it alone. There is a bipartisan push for more information and transparency around convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell.
Powerful aftershocks have been felt near the epicenter of the deadly and destructive earthquake in Afghanistan. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb says getting to cut-off villages will take time.
And having traveled to these remote districts in Kunar and Nangarhar provinces in previous reporting trips, it's frankly easy to see how such a powerful earthquake could devastate these remote villages. But what's less clear is how effective aid efforts can be without support from the U.S., which up until earlier this year had been the largest donor of humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan.
On the Health Watch today, CBS's Jim Crisula tells
More
us
than 1 billion people are living with mental health disorders such as anxiety and depression. That's according to new data released by the World Health Organization. The WHO says mental health issues are the second biggest reason for long-term disability.
A new study finds it's possible to identify and treat the women most at risk of a breast cancer recurrence and prevent it from happening. Dr. Angie DiMichele at the University of Pennsylvania says cancer cells that are resistant to the initial treatment can lay dormant for years before reawakening.
We think this looks very promising as a new way to find and eradicate the cells that are causing women with breast cancer to relapse.
The Trump administration is set to announce that U.S. Space Command will be located in Huntsville, Alabama, reversing a Biden decision to keep it at its temporary home in Colorado. Wall Street, the Dow is down 400 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
The danger of rabid bats, the story coming up. But first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. You have a possible crash on I-405 northbound at Lake Heights. You are slowed down through Renton right now. Travel time Renton to Bellevue, 45 minutes. That's about 10 longer than usual. Other travel times are looking pretty decent. Everett to Seattle, 22 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 40 minutes. And your lake bridges are nearly clear. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. We now know the identity of the woman who was killed when a car crashed into a Kirkland grocery outlet. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun has more.
St. John's Episcopal Church says the victim was Sheila Stanton. They describe her as a vibrant community member, someone with a thoughtful, kind, and wise presence, and a leader of Juneteenth events in Kirkland.
It makes you realize any given moment, right? Things like that can happen, but certainly don't expect it.
Kirkland police say the 74-year-old driver was driving a new car, and she's not expected to face charges. Investigators tell KIRO 7 they believe this was a tragic accident.
But investigators are waiting for results of a blood test to see if drugs or alcohol were involved. Friends and family of a beloved Seattle musician killed in a Wallingford arson in June honored her life at a weekend service. Friends of Lizette Klee telling KIRO 7 TV.
We used to play for the Seafair Float.
Yeah, she played the alto sax in our big band, and she played the alto sax in the West Seattle Big Band Orchestra.
I loved her. Yeah, she is a sweet person.
Police are still searching for the person who set fire to Klee's home. Over the weekend, loved ones of a missing Arlington man held a walkathon on his 22nd birthday to encourage people to keep looking for him. Some of the participants wore T-shirts with Jonathan Huang's photo on the front, telling KIRO 7 TV.
So people think about him and see his face and hopefully remember what he looks like. So in case they spot him, that they'll call 911.
Huang, who is autistic, wandered away from his Arlington home in March and may have been spotted on a Kirkland Ring camera in June. A bat in Cowlitz County has tested positive for rabies. The Daily News reports it's the first confirmed case there since 2019. Rabies is almost always fatal if untreated. Experts say if you find a bat in your home, don't touch it and don't release or dispose of it before calling your doctor or local health department. Seattle's Museum of Pop Culture is saying goodbye to its iconic exhibit. The Wrap reports the Nirvana display will close September 7th after a 14-year run. Some fans of the grunge group are not happy, calling the move a mistake, but the museum says the space will make way for a new exhibit on Northwest music. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 63 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday, September 2nd. Good morning to you, Angela Poe Russell, as she fills in for Ursula today. Good morning.
Good morning, G.
Now, before you get to the news and tell us what's new at 10, something happened to me over the weekend. And I wonder if it's same here locally, considering the Washington State, what is it, what do they call the Puyallup Fair these days?
It's the Washington State Fair.
Oh, okay.
Ta-ta.
Well, the Puyallup Fair is going on. Well, this past weekend, I went to the Richmond Night Market up there in Canada.
Okay.
And so the night, it was cool. But when did games cost $10 to play? If you want to, right? If you want to take the dart and blow up the balloon.
$10?
$10. And then I was talking to somebody out here. Somebody's telling me that sometimes the games now are $7. What happened to the days of $1 a game? Did I miss something?
This is what I'm talking about. It's not sustainable.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
Gee, I've been to that night market, and it was a ripoff.
All right.
I was blown away.
Yeah. Anyways, it's kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on, but text us if you know. But this is nuts. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to what's new at 10 o'clock. Go ahead.
What's new at 10?
Okay, even with all of the companies calling workers back into the office, downtown Seattle offices are still pretty empty. The Seattle Times reports that a third of offices are empty, and it's not work from home that's the problem. The problem is that jobs are going away faster than workers can return. Since late 2022, hiring in key sectors like software programming, computer systems design hasn't just slowed down, it has gone negative. State data from those categories show it's down 9% and 12% since 2022. That's a U-turn from the last decade when Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta were in a full-on arms race for talent. Back then, tech hiring here jumped more than 80%, while overall jobs rose only about 30%. Now, instead of fighting to outbid each other for office space and workers, those companies are cutting, which means empty cubicles, fewer coffee runs, and downtown still waiting for its comeback story. So down 9 and 12% in 3 years versus Yeah, this is significant.
We might as well quit waiting. We should stop the waiting and embrace the new normal, they say. This is going to be a continuing thing. I don't think we're ever going to go back to the days where it is fully packed downtown or anywhere like it was pre-pandemic. I was talking to someone who owns a cleaning service. A lot of their contracts are downtown Seattle. And I had never thought about services that are impacted because of people that are work from home. I never thought about that before until last week having this discussion. And he was telling me just now, luckily they have the union going on, so they can't go too much further down on their prices, but their businesses have been impacted. I mean, by a lot. I never thought about cleaning services or any other service that has to do with people being. Now we talk about restaurants all the time. Sure, we talk about that, but I never thought about the cleaning services. So again, this is something that will never be. This work from home, it's a new normal. We're never going to get back to pre-pandemic levels.
You know, I disagree. I think, okay, there are two things. I think that downtown Seattle has all the tools for a major comeback. Sadly, national policy and other forces are slowing our economy down, and we're going to have businesses that are impacted by it. Here's why I say this. Because I'm actually spending time in downtown Seattle. I have the best time, and I think, yes, I'm just enjoying my crap hole city. You know, I was down on the waterfront having ice cream, and they have these swings that you can use that look over the water. So imagine just being on a swing set overlooking the water, overlooking Elliott Bay, you know, enjoying the restaurants down there. You came down to Benaroya Hall for a show. I think there are major signs of life. The problem that we're dealing with, and I want you all to catch this, we are never immune from what is happening to our neighbors. We are never immune. So national policy, things that are happening in other sectors, the tech sector, it makes it hard for us as a whole to recover. But I think when we do bounce back, downtown Seattle is well positioned if we can keep control of, okay, this is so politically incorrect, I'll just be it. If we can kind of keep control over the drugs and the homelessness and all that. So I'm sure there's a better word than control, but just follow me.
So why do we see all the homelessness?
I mean, that's a big.
That's
you want to have a debate about that?
No, I don't want to go there. I don't. That's not where I wanted to go. But we're going. The reason when you said that,
we have to find places for them to go. And you know my philosophy on it. I'm pretty hard line. Like if it's a drug issue, you either go into treatment or you go to jail.
Sure.
It's one. But you can't sit here.
Right.
So I'm a little extreme.
Okay. So where
I'm offering you treatment.
So where do they go?
They got it. You have to build the infrastructure for it.
But it's not built. There has been. Okay. I want to slow this down.
Okay.
There has been a war on drugs for 50 plus years.
Oh Lord. Okay. We're talking about the economy.
No. What I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we have been talking about building the beds and the places for all of the people. I get it. Nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to see folks doing drugs. Nobody wants to see people unhoused. And so this is not political or anything. This is for all of us. Then where do they go? Because we don't have the spaces for them. So if you say, hey, I want to clean up downtown and I don't want them there, then where do they go?
Okay, let me start.
Okay.
King County approved taxes to build 5 crisis centers. One is already operating. The next one is about to go up now. Anyone who's having any mental health issue can come there and get resources for free. No questions asked. They're opening up a youth one. So that is happening. Voters have already approved it. It's happening.
You said it's happening.
Yes, there's one already open in Kirkland. This is King County. So they can go there and get a range of services. So it's like urgent care for mental health, being connected with resources. I feel like we are in a really good direction having programs like that. And there was another point I was going to make to your question about drugs and where people go.
Right.
So that is one of them. I do think let me just add this. When you go to downtown Seattle, they now have a beautiful public restroom that has a full-time attendant. Full-time. This bathroom has been built so that, people can't go in there and use drugs. There's a full-time person there to watch it. Yeah. It's lovely. Mm-hmm. And so I think and look, I also want to mention this other piece because we were talking about the whole reputation of crap hole Seattle. Downtown Seattle hotels just hit a new high score, ranking a record $126 million in July alone. And a lot of it was driven by, various events. Yeah. But this year there was no All-Star game, no Taylor Swift, but it's the convention center. Have you been to the new convention center?
Yes, I have.
It is amazing.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. So people are using the convention center, 420,000 rooms sold, $301 a night. So good signs. The problem is we are seeing a drop in international tourism, and I think you alluded to that a little bit earlier.
And that's because, specifically, the folks, our brothers and sisters up north in Canada said we're not coming to a place where the president tells us they want us to be the 51st state.
Nothing we can control. Nothing we can control.
Vegas is seeing it. We're
Arizona
seeing it. All of this. Now, I want to go back to something you said. No, I'm not. I'm off that one.
It's all right.
I want to go back to the topic when you said you can foresee a time where Seattle will come back. Now, when you say come back, look, the whole new normal is a thing. Seattle will never go back to the days of the working class being the way it was 2019. It will never look like that again.
Okay.
Those days are over. Why? Because tech, right? And by the way, speaking of tech, in fairness, we do have Amazon, right? One of the biggest companies in the world that's smack downtown right here in Seattle. So right now, we have city and county government. They're not mandatory to go to work 5 days a week. So if we don't have city and county government going to work 5 days a week, we can't expect and put pressure on private companies to go 5 days a week. So I think the work from home aspect, especially here in Seattle, we will never see those times again. And so we will for sure have to adapt. By the way, up in Vancouver, BC, there was a lot of unhoused downtown.
So what do you think do you like the idea of the crisis centers? I mean, those are good, having places where you don't have barriers to getting help. Mm-hmm. And it can be where they have a longer stay, a shorter stay. It's pretty cool.
So while I think that's cool, what we are seeing now is for so many years of doing nothing, so many years of just saying, hey, we have the All-Star game in Seattle coming to town. Let's sweep up and make it look a certain type of way. It's no different than when you have a dirty house most of the time, but then you're getting ready to have company come over and you make you and the kids get ready to clean up everything. And so when people come over, it appears to look a certain way. But if they open up that closet, everything is shoved in the closet. That is what we have been doing with our unhoused and the topic of our unhoused. We have just been sweeping it up under the rug, putting it in the closet. Somebody runs for office. They say what they're going to do. We're going to do all these affordable homes, and then we repeat the cycle. So I don't know. I didn't mean to go on a tangent on the unhoused.
You're good. I mean, sometimes you got to stuff stuff in the closet and do what you got to do because these are not issues that you can fix overnight.
No.
But we definitely, okay. I'm trying to remember what I'm allowed to do. So I just won't go there with candidates because we have a race going on. But what I will tell you, I do not think the answer is to just continue this reputation as Freeattle and where there's no accountability. It should not be okay to do drugs on the street. It just should not be okay. I have no problem with, you're sitting here doing drugs on the street. You think that should be okay and allowed?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I think that if I know me, right? If I were to go right now and stand in front of a business and I would go and try to do some drugs and stuff in front of someone's business, I would think that, hey, you can't do that here, sir. You need to leave. And if I don't leave, I would be arrested. That's how I think, okay? And I think that everybody should have that, okay? With that being said, I do know that not only do we have the unhoused that's out here right now, I also know the unhoused that's on its way. And the problem is we are continuing not to address the unhoused that is going to be on the way. Because right now, there's somebody listening right now, paycheck to paycheck, in the city of Seattle, $2,200 a month for a one-bedroom, one-bath. I'm sorry. The way we are continuing, there is not enough room for the people that's on their way to being unhoused. That's my only thing.
Here's what's crazy to me.
What do you got?
All the people that are like, oh, yeah, cut these jobs and Doge, cut them. We need to roll back. And then when those people don't have jobs and can't support their businesses and can't support the restaurants and can't pay the bill, then it's like, oh, no help for them. It doesn't. Sometimes we look at things in a silo and don't understand the full impact. Were you going to say something? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just had a question. Does it bother you more that people are doing the drugs or that you can see it?
I think it's both. It's not an either or, but I think it is not okay for me to be, just like I don't think it's okay for me to walk with my kid on the street and have to look at porn on a billboard. I think that should not be acceptable in a community. And I don't think that my kid or me should have to look at someone with a needle shooting up. It's not okay. We need to have standards. Yes, it bothers me that someone is doing the porn on the billboard. Yes, it bothers me that you're doing drugs, but I can't control you. What I can control is what I'm going to allow on this public sidewalk.
See, I don't like it. I don't think you should be able to do it. At the same time, I kind of feel like we should be confronted by it, because seeing visible homelessness, seeing people who are strung out, is an uncomfortable reminder of failed social policies in this country.
Okay,
and we have to see the results of what our system has created. And if we shove all those people off into who knows where, you can't see them anywhere, can't see no tents, okay, you've just made a problem that's huge invisible.
Okay, I don't. Please, it's not meant in a funny way or mean way. I feel like it's easy to say when you live in the burbs and it's not something you have to deal with. And so, as I've lived in the city and forgive me, because you've probably, I don't want to make assumptions. I don't want to make it, but having had my kid just traumatized by looking at someone like that, I'm like, that's not, she had nightmares about it. And go ahead. So, because I know, Chef, you have lists. I don't mean to. No. I'm just like, dude, do you know what it's like to live in the city and have to deal with this day in and day out? You can't go anywhere sometimes. No, it's worse.
So, what we talked earlier about the executive membership to Costco. By the way, I didn't know we were going to go on this deep tangent. But we talked earlier about the executive membership, the business membership, and if you pay that, you now get to go and shop early. These are the perks that you get for paying more money. Right now in the United States of America, especially in states with big cities, right, whether it's New York, San Francisco, L.A., San Diego, right, you get where I'm going, places where there are a lot of problems in these big cities. Right now, it is designed to where you can pay to not have to see those things that you're talking about. Now, the things that you're talking about right now is because you live in Seattle, right? And you live in the area in Seattle where you have lived, and we all know where that area, what it used to be years ago. But there are some people who can pay to not see any of the things that we are talking about, right? So if you pay for this school district, for this house, you can live here, right? But this is because of the past and where things used to be. Now, when I was growing up, when I played hide and seek, some of you guys played hide and seek the normal way. I played hide and seek in those abandoned buildings. I played hide and seek with the people, the crackheads, and I would literally be hiding in there and thought nothing of it because we would see people using crack, smoking crack all the time. We would be and see in those trap houses. So again, the United States has always been built in a situation where marginalized people have been an afterthought. An afterthought. So this stuff that you're talking about that you don't want to see, for years, some of us, that's all we saw every day.
So here's the question. So, Chef, to your point, because yes, people need to be aware of it. How do you balance that with and I hate to use that word public safety, but I'll just give an example. So a lot of theaters have said, and arts venues have said, hey, we have customers who don't want to come see our plays anymore because they're afraid when they walk into the venue. We've had people text and say, yeah, we don't come to Seattle and patronize these businesses anymore because they don't want to have to go through a gauntlet of what looks like a horror movie. And so how do you balance that? Because I know that you want the arts organizations to survive and the other businesses to survive, and you also care about people. And if you don't have the answer, that's fine, but that's my question.
My answer is that America is developing third world problems. Because if you go to any other nation on earth, you will see the income disparity right across the street from itself. You'll see a slum next to the most beautiful high-rise tower. And I'm sorry, but that's where we're going to.
It absolutely is. If you look at even right now in the housing market, it's not the starter home selling. In Seattle, it's like the $2 million homes. Because if you have money, you have it. And if you don't, you don't.
Good stuff, Angela. Coming up next, back in 1990, most adults were doing this activity weekly. Now, it's not even close. We'll tell you what's going on with America in the big dry spell. Gee Ursula with Angela.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
The Jake and Spike Show.
If you are watching on YouTube, you're going to see a giant snake here in just a minute.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Monroe Reptile Zoo in with us right now. Isaac Peterson joins us.
This is linguini today. It's a Burmese python, albino Burmese python.
Albino Burmese python.
Yeah.
Oh, Spike is going to wear him. There we go.
I made the really bad mistake of eating a live mouse before the segment, and maybe he smells it on my breath.
Most people don't get comfortable with Spike that quickly.
I know. It takes most of my co-hosts at least a year.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Are you happy with how you feel these days? Are you slowing down physically or mentally? Ever wonder what your life will be like 10 to 15 years from now? Most of us don't really know how we're aging or if we can even do anything about it. But here's the truth. Knowledge is power, and that's exactly where we start at Longevity Medical Clinic. We run advanced diagnostics to find out what's really going on inside your body, and then we create a personalized hormone and health optimization plan designed specifically to help you live better starting now. Our patients are often amazed by what they discover in their blood work, and even more amazed at how quickly they start to feel like themselves again. This isn't guesswork, it's science, it's personal, and it works. Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit LongevityMedicalClinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better today and every day after that.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. When it comes to the technology that the IRS is using, they're updating systems that haven't been updated in decades. And while that might sound great for them, it's usually bad for the taxpayer who owes.
It is, and their systems, unfortunately, they're just legacy systems. If you try to make an inquiry on some things, it's like you got to know how to use programming language to find it. But they are working on updating that system, and I hope that really they do, because it'll serve us better, the taxpayer better, and get things done quicker. The other thing they're doing is AI, just like every organization. So they're already using it to some extent to put in profile of certain things that they want to look for in a taxpayer and find those people and go after them or see what's going on, why they're not getting their money.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling soon. Free Good to Go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Uncertainty over tariffs is rocking the stock market this morning. A federal appeals court ruled that President Trump's reciprocal tariffs are illegal, but they can stay in place while this is appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. Chief market strategist Michael Farr.
While the Supreme Court has certainly voted with the president on a majority of issues so far, it's not a lock that they will do it on this one.
A judge has ruled it was illegal for President Trump to send the National Guard to Los Angeles during immigration protests. That ruling, too, will likely be appealed, as Chicago braces for a possible influx of federal troops following a violent Labor Day weekend.
5 total shots.
At least 7 people were killed in Chicago this past weekend and dozens injured. And even though city numbers show a 33% reduction in homicides in the first 6 months of this year, former Chicago Police Commander Patty Casey says,
"Who cares if crime's down when you have that kind of statistic?"
But thousands turned out for a Labor Day march, many saying Chicago won't stand for martial law. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Trump's border czar has suggested sending National Guard troops to New York, Portland, and Seattle, too, to enforce immigration laws. Well, over the weekend, Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood was part of a wave of protests seen across the country.
The Workers Over Billionaires March through the streets of Capitol Hill culminated with the keynote speaker, Attorney General Nick Brown, talking about protecting workers' rights. KIRO 7 TV was there.
And I love coming to work every day because the work that we do matters.
Hundreds of other people at the march protested several other issues as well, from cuts to Medicaid to the U.S. role in Gaza. No arrests and no violence during the demonstrations. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
SeaTac Airport says it's expecting 191,000 people for the post-holiday rush. This traveler tells KIRO 7 TV.
Don't want to miss the flight or anything like that, but I usually try my best to
plan as far ahead as I can.
Good advice. Travel experts suggest checking in a day before your flight, getting to the airport early, and plan when you're going to park or get your ride. No winner over the weekend.
It's time for America's favorite jackpot game. Get ready, everybody. This is Powerball.
The jackpot for Wednesday's Powerball drawing is an estimated $1.3 billion. The jackpot has been growing since May. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 376 points, NASDAQ off 276. KIRO News Radio traffic, still seeing a possible crash on I-405 northbound at Lake Heights. You're slowed down through Renton. Travel time Renton to Bellevue, 40 minutes. That's more than 10 minutes longer than typical. Other travel times are pretty good. Everett to Seattle will take you 22 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 31. Your lake bridges are nearly clear. Traffic brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the mid-70s. It is 63 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Hey, at 11 o'clock, 2 times James Beard Award winner Eduardo Jordan will join the show. He will be live here in studio. We will be talking about the reason why the businesses, the restaurants, local restaurants here in downtown Seattle are closing. And also, I want to ask him, does Seattle have a food culture the same way other cities do? We'll ask about that as well. But right now, Angela, this topic right here.
Oof, how do we do this?
I'm going to try. Listen, y'all. America is on a full-on bedroom recession. Call it a drought of desire, a love life layoff, or just a case of Netflix and no chill. According to the Wall Street Journal, only 37% of adults say they're having sex at least once a week. Back in 1990, 55%.
Wow,
and
that's like a 12% drop.
I ain't the best with math. Glad you quick. And here's the kicker. Almost a quarter of young adults, 18 to 29, said that they haven't had sex in the last year. That's not just a dry spell. That's Death Valley with Wi-Fi. Why? Fewer couples moving in together, too many of us glued to our screens, and a post-pandemic funk that's got people running on airplane mode in their own bedrooms. Therapists even gave it a name, bed rotting, lying in bed, scrolling instead of touching. The experts say the fix isn't complicated. Before I get into all the fix and stuff, because I'm scared to look at that, because I didn't look at that on the way down, and I'm scared of Chef. Angela, what's your thoughts so far?
I don't know what to make of it. You know, I wonder, stress can absolutely reduce your libido.
Ooh-wee.
And I think since the pandemic, we've just, I feel bad for us. I feel like we've been through a lot the last several years. There's been one thing after the other. Job stuff, politics, family,
Kids.
mental health crisis. Just name it. So I think stress could be a culprit. And I also wonder how much pornography plays into it if people are getting their outlets there. And so then the screens become more something they're used to than an actual person.
Right. Well,
especially for the younger people.
Here's the thing. Boom. That's where I was going with that. And this is what really stands out to me. Yes, Wall Street Journal saying that 37% of adults say they're having sex at least once a week, and that's down from 55% in 1990. I believe that, like you said, Angela, the stress. The part that I'm really not understanding is I'm trying to better understand these young kids. And maybe the answer is that young kids are stressed even more so than they used to be at this age because of everything being so expensive. But again, it says almost a quarter of young adults, 18 to 29, said they haven't had sex in the last year.
Is it because they're living at home?
Well, I'm
It's like can't afford a place, so living at home makes it kind of hard
sure.
to hook up.
There's that. But aren't the young kids slower to go get a license, driver's license?
Everything.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's something that is happening. I was trying to think about, other than stress. I think we all can agree on stress, and there's other different things. I think that technology is really a big culprit in this, because we are so connected constantly. I'm guilty of being over connected, if you will, right? I'm home from the outside world, but am I home? Because I'm home and still connected to the outside world, whether it's social media, whether it's reading news, and all those things.
Okay, what about this theory?
Mm-hmm.
What about our nutrition, our food? Like, do you think it's possible there's something with our food that is repressing our drive? Because that's a hormonal thing to actually crave sex.
Absolutely. This is why every time you're driving in your car somewhere or on TV, how often you are seeing low-T commercials. You have seen more low-T commercials today than we ever have back in the day, and diet is for sure the reason. Diet full of sugar these days, right? It's constant. So, no, I think that we Americans are the American diet in itself. I just had a friend was in Spain for 10 days, came back, told me they ate more in Spain the entire, they said they ate constantly, nonstop. Lost 5 pounds when they came back to the United States.
Yeah.
Lost 5 pounds. So I think, Angela, you made a very good point on the diet. So it's a stress thing. And
So what's the fix? Because you said you didn't want to go through I wanted to hear what are they saying we need to do?
All right. Well, all right. This is cold. I didn't get a chance to look at the notes.
Oh, give it to us straight.
Okay. The experts say the fix isn't complicated. Meet in 3D, not just DM. Put the apps down, right? Touch some real grass, right? Same bedtime. Same bedtime equals more prime time. If you're both awake, phones down, vibes up. So put the phone down and treat intimacy. I'm not doing this.
Oh, come on.
No, because Chef has read. There's landmines there. And you guys,
I'll read it.
I love this.
Treat intimacy like the gym. Sometimes you don't feel like going, but you sure are glad when you do.
Exactly. I think that's awesome.
Hey, man. Sometimes I don't feel like going to the beach, but I always like, hey, this is nice.
Because there's just certain things that I just don't think that I could say.
I thought it was perfect.
Yeah. Oh, look, I already
Why are you so uncomfortable?
I already be. As a matter of fact, true story, I was uncomfortable with that whole segment the entire time. I don't know, man.
Maybe that's why younger people aren't doing it, because they got the older folks be like, son, it's like going to the gym. You'll appreciate it afterward. It's like, please, Mom, stop.
Hey, real quick, Nick. Gen Z, is this stress?
Part of it's like we're working, and also, you lose the libido when you have a tough time trying to find your own place, When you don't have the space, you don't really have the mood. So
That's quotable.
Yeah.
No space, no mood. Yeah. All right, I'm glad. By the way, I'm sweating after that topic.
I'm as cool as a cucumber. Let's talk about it.
Eduardo Jordan, 2 times James Beard Award winner. He is in the building. He's going to join us at 11 o'clock. But up next, we got scenarios. Gee and Ursula with Angela.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Vision insurance, health insurance. If you've ever had to try and understand the nuances, it can be a bit overwhelming of a topic. Insurance can be a beast. It's G. Scott here to talk to you about my friends over at Urbanize. Do you have any idea how to make the most out of your benefits? You don't have to. Most of us don't really understand the difference between insurance and a discount policy. We wish, or maybe even think, that because we have insurance, that everything is covered. But unfortunately, it's not, and can be very confusing. Urbanize, their staff over there, can assist you in verifying your insurance coverage and explaining your benefits, whether you're using iMed, VSP, Microsoft, Primera, or any other vision plan. Dr. Dana and her team thoroughly help you out and make sure you understand and better go walking forward to get it done the right way. For services not covered by insurance, they do accept care credit. So, myurbanize.com for your appointment.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Goodbye baseball. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
The Mariners postseason push is on, and there's a whole new way to be part of the action. Introducing the Home Stretch Flex Plan, a $500 membership that gives you the freedom to choose your games and seats for the rest of the season, all while saving 5% on tickets and no fees.
Strike 3 call. Triple digits to end it and complete the sweep.
You can use your credit however you want. Go big with club seats for a couple high-stakes showdowns, or stretch it out into the final series against the Dodgers. And the best part? Home Stretch Flex members get priority access to our postseason pre-sale. That means you're first in line when October comes calling. The team is locked in.
J.P. Crawford! Game winner, walk-off bench in the 9th inning.
And now it's time to bring the energy down the stretch. Come on board today at Mariners.com/homestretch. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
And now, tales of another way. How long can one go on with the same scent of shower soap? Sure, sandalwood is your signature aura, but today you went tropical essence. Glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins soon. Save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and progressive.com.
Help create a future with no more drunk driving victims. Join Molly Shen and the Davis Law Group for Move with MAD, September 13th at Red Square, Central Plaza on the UW campus. Move with MAD raises awareness and funds to help end drunk driving and prevent underage drinking. Every step taken and every dollar raised can help keep our families and communities safe. Sign up to walk or join the team at madwashington.com. Move with MAD, September 13th on the UW campus. Register today.
It is Gee and Ursula We do have a guest coming in at 11 o'clock. Eduardo Jordan, 2-time James Beard Award winner, will join the show. But right now, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Something from my past has come back to haunt me. 5 years ago, I had a 3-month relationship with a married man from another area. Luckily, a job transfer gave me some space and clarity. I ended the affair and moved on. Later, I met a guy and got married 6 months ago. Then, last week, out of nowhere, got a call from a number I don't recognize. When I checked the voicemail, it is this guy's wife calling me to talk to me about the affair that I had with her husband. I ignored it, but she has called 5 times since and has told me that she is not going away. Then I got a Facebook message from her husband that his wife had found some old receipts from a trip we took to Orlando. My name and number was on the hotel receipt. He has told his wife that it was a one-time thing and he asked her to leave it alone, but she says that they cannot move forward until she talks with me. My husband has known about my old relationship for a while and thinks I should just ignore her. I'm torn. Should I just talk to her or just ignore it? I have not responded to the Facebook message from my ex either. Should I ask him to handle it? I'm starting to think this may be dangerous. 888-973-5476. Angela, you up to bat first.
Ooh, no indication of why she thinks it'd be dangerous.
No.
No.
I don't know. You have someone blowing up your phone all the time.
I would probably answer and then see how that goes, and maybe keep it simple and just say, you know what, I did make a mistake and engage in this, and then we cut it off, and then if it escalates from there, report her to the authorities.
Don't answer this. Your current husband, you've told him about it. He knows about it, right? This was something that happened in the past. There's nothing more for you to say to this lady.
She could block her. She could block the number.
Exactly. So she's going to, and by the way, nothing you can say is going to satisfy this woman.
That's fair. Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay, you've changed. I'd probably block the number.
What are you going to say? Hey, so how did it start? What was said? What'd you guys do? How long did you guys hang out together? How many times? Like, there's nothing. Like, it can keep going and going and going. You give her 5 minutes, she's going to want 10. You give her 10 minutes, she's going to want 20. Like, there's no win in this. Blocker.
The only reason she wants to talk to you is because she wants to fact check her husband.
Yeah.
Because everybody who's committed a sin and then admitted to it usually only admits about 10% of the truth, unless they know they can be fact checked. Right? Hey, it was just that one time. Oh, it's like his work guys got really, was so wasted that night. Not the fact that it was going on for 3 months and the girl knew that you were married. So, don't engage with the woman. Don't engage with the woman. I think probably the only thing I'd say is it lasted, and I'd write her back on social media. It lasted for 3 months. He lied. I made a mistake. You're blocked.
Here's what I wonder. If you're at a point where your husband got caught, you've been trying to reconcile, if you still feel like you need to go fact check, then there's something there that's still a problem. Wouldn't you agree that when you're having a discussion with a partner you've been with for a long time, if they're coming clean with you? And sometimes you're just trying to go talk to these other people because you want to go do a gotcha, like Chef said. And I think if you felt like they were being honest, you maybe wouldn't feel the need to do that.
Yeah. One of my good friends, I won't say her name because she didn't say it, but she just texted and says, as someone who has been in that situation, there was nothing more that I wanted to do than talk to the woman. And even though, you're right, G, I didn't feel a lot better, it felt powerful to confront the woman. She blocked me. I found her.
So blocking is not going to be the answer. This woman's going to track her down. So she probably should just reply and see what level of
two things. One, I think Chef nailed it on wanting to fact check the husband. Like, she wants to fact check that. That's one. Two, and this is the ultimate one. This is the one that I just scratch my head about all the time. So the woman finds out that her husband was having an affair with maybe this one woman. So instead of discussing or deciding or making decisions with that husband, sometimes I feel like now they want to go and create destruction over here because things aren't going right over here. So I need to come out and I need to try to destroy what's going on over there.
But we don't know that. Like Isabella said, she just wanted to talk. She just wanted to talk to her. So it may not be as bad as you think.
I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying.
It could be. She needs to talk to her and see the level of crazy she's dealing with.
But sometimes,
if there's any crazy.
Yeah. All right. I was gonna ask if no. Nick, what do you got?
You don't need to escalate this and bring your partner into the situation. This other girl just seems to be wanting any reaction, and I think she's going to try anything to do it. This can be handled by yourself. I know the feeling can be uncomfortable, but you got to do the dirty work if she's going to stay persistent with blowing up your phone. The snowball is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger if you don't stomp your foot down and lay down the law. And the truth's going to come out from your own mouth, so stop her from any of the drama and just block her if you have to. If you really don't want to talk to her, just block it.
Oh. Let me say this. As if it were to happen to me today or some situation like that, I ain't got nothing to say to the dude. This ain't on him. This is not on him. It doesn't matter about. This is on me and my significant other.
But
something happened.
Don't see it that way. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if my wife was hanging out with this dude, what am I gonna say to him?
You don't think that somebody who knowingly cheats with somebody who's in a relationship bears any responsibility for that?
When you say responsibility, so if my significant other cheated with somebody who's in a relationship already, right? They're in a relationship. So because of my hurt, I'm going to go out and reach out and be like, hey, this is going on?
Well, we're wondering why you got in the middle of my marriage. Why did you get in the middle of my marriage?
That's my question. Wait. I think that somehow because of my marriage, I allowed it to happen.
What? I'm confused. I'm saying, was it Isabella was wanting to reach out to the person because you were blocking. You knew he was married and you got involved. So that's what they're just trying to. But you don't get that.
No, but I also get that I didn't say her name. Hey, coming up next here on the show.
Stop that.
Eduardo Jordan, James Beard, a winner 2 times, joins the show. Gee Ursula.
I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Never gonna give you up.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Homeowners, federal tax credits on heat pumps end soon. Home Comfort Alliance can help you save up to 75% on new in-stock heat pumps with combined discounts, utility rebates, and expiring federal tax credits on systems installed by December 31st. These are new in-stock high-efficiency models that will make your home comfortable year-round. Federal tax credits expire December 31st, so don't wait. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. For all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, it's Home Comfort Alliance, the comfort people.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99, and we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale, now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms supply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. A federal court in California has ruled the Trump administration violated federal law in deploying National Guard troops and Marines to Los Angeles over the protests against immigration raids. CBS's Jake Rosen has details.
It's taken a couple of months, but a federal judge in California has ruled that the Trump administration's deployment of Marines and National Guard in California and the way that those officers and military members were deployed throughout the city to do civilian law enforcement was illegal, essentially accusing President Trump and Department of Defense head Pete Hegseth of using these troops as their, quote, personal law enforcement or a national police force.
Some veterans groups are urging National Guard troops to refuse possible orders to deploy to Chicago. Brad Thompson's an attorney with the National Lawyers Guild.
Service members did not enlist to become an occupying army in their own backyard.
The Department of Homeland Security is announcing it will give more money to state and local law enforcement agencies that agree to have their agents deputized as immigration officers. The department says it will cover their annual salaries and offer quarterly rewards for agencies based on the degree to which they support the president's mass deportation efforts. CBS's Nicole Killian reports Congress returns this week ahead of a deadline to fund the government and avert a possible shutdown by the end of the month. The chambers are at odds when it comes to funding levels.
Just late last week, we saw the White House do what's called a pocket rescission to try to claw back about $5 billion in foreign aid. And that's on top of that rescissions package that Congress passed just before the recess. That is not sitting well with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle because their argument is, look, Congress holds the power of the purse.
The death toll is at more than 1,400 from an earthquake in eastern Afghanistan Sunday night. Temendri De Silva is with World Vision Afghanistan.
It's so bad that even helicopters are not able to land. Rescuers are having to prioritize locations based on access. And that means that several villages are being overlooked.
After years of decline, prostate cancer is now seeing an uptick. Correspondent Matt Piper has that.
A new study shows the disease is increasing in men of every age, including by about 3% per year in those younger than 55 and 6% per year in men over 55. The rate of death nationwide is 2 times higher for black men compared with white men.
McDonald's is cutting prices on some combo meals to woo back customers who are saving every dollar these days. Checking the numbers on Wall Street at this hour. Stocks are lower. The Dow is off 318 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs.
Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A violent overnight in Seattle. Details coming up. At first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. A disabled vehicle is blocking a ramp from I-5 northbound to the West Seattle Freeway. Watch out for that. In the Tacoma area, a crash is partially blocking State Route 7 southbound near 131st Street South. Your travel times: Everett to Seattle, 22 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 31. Renton to Bellevue is much improved after an earlier crash on I-405. It's 20 minutes now. And your lake bridges are clear. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. One person is in custody after a shooting overnight in Seattle's First Hill neighborhood. Police tell the Seattle Times a 28-year-old was taken to a hospital in serious condition. No word on what led up to that gunfire. And one person was shot in the leg on Aurora Avenue in North Seattle yesterday. Police say they found blood and multiple bullet casings at the scene. The victim turned up later after he crashed his car on the ramp to the ER at Harborview Medical Center. A beloved Seattle musician killed in a Wallingford arson in June was honored at a weekend service. KIRO 7 TV's Deborah Horn spoke with the victim's family and friends.
Rebecca Duran, a retired jazz singer and Clee's best friend, and Duran's husband, Jay Thomas.
And we used to play for the Seafair Float.
Yeah, she played the alto sax in our big band, and she played the alto sax in the West Seattle Orchestra.
Those cherished friendships came to a sad end in June. Someone set fire to Clee's home on Sunnyside Avenue North with her inside, killing her.
The search for the arsonist continues. The woman who was killed when a car crashed into a Kirkland grocery outlet has been identified now as Sheila Stanton. That's what her church tells KIRO 7 TV. Several people were injured in the crash that stunned shoppers Sunday.
It makes you realize any given moment, right? Things like that can happen, but certainly don't expect it.
Police say this may be just a tragic accident involving an elderly driver, but they are running blood tests to see if drugs or alcohol were involved. Over the weekend, loved ones of a missing Arlington man held a walkathon on his 22nd birthday to encourage people to keep looking for him. His father tells KIRO 7 TV.
I just feel I have to do something, and this is one way that I can feel as if I'm with him.
Jonathan Huang, who is autistic, wandered away from his home in March and may have been spotted on a Kirkland Ring camera in June. Seattle soccer fans are calling it one of the most impressive victories ever.
The Sounders are going to win Leagues Cup!
The Seattle Sounders FC walloped Inter at Miami CF 3-0 in last night's Leagues Cup 2025 final at Lumen Field. They defeated a team that has superstar talent led by one of the sport's best, Lionel Messi. It's Seattle's first ever Leagues Cup title. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 65 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday, September 2nd. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, G. You know, it's good to be here, and I'm once again reminded that your listeners, you have the funniest listener. Y'all are a trip.
Funny. I mean, seriously, they make my day. Hey, glad you guys are joining us, but right now we got to get to it because, of course, Agree to Disagree will happen at 11:30, but let's go.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
What is happening to the Seattle food scene? Back 10 years ago this time, there was an article in The Stranger. And in The Stranger, they were talking about restaurant empires. And the headline was, when 5 restaurateurs own 40 restaurants. And what would it mean for the Seattle dining scene? That was 10 years ago, and now here we are today now. 2-time James Beard Award-winning chef Eduardo Jordan, he wrote on his Instagram over the weekend, one by one, we are losing the special places that made Seattle unique. Farmer-driven, locally sourced, sustainable, minimally touched, neighborhood-focused, mom-and-pop, husband and wife operations, upscale, and lowbrow options, takeout, all of it disappearing. I predicted this would happen. Well, he joins us right now here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Eduardo, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
What made you make that post on Instagram? Because you're usually kind of quiet on Instagram. What was it that made you do that?
It was actually, I saw a post from the Farmers Seattle Times food writer, Providence Cicero. She was having I think a birthday celebration or anniversary at Copine.
Okay.
Copine, if I said it wrong. And another neighborhood restaurant. She's like, come visit here before it closes or before it changes. I was like, what? Did I read their post wrong? Because I just saw a post they made. And they're reformatting or closing at the end of the year. And I was like, this can't happen. This continues to happen in Seattle. Why is this happening?
Mm-hmm. You told me a few years ago that this would be happening.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that you saw? Obviously, you all know your restaurant, you shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that stood out to you to make you tell me, gee, this is what's going to be happening in Seattle, and here we are, and it's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were having conversations about food and the direction of Seattle, and I said, like, everyone's tired. Like, we're tired of the rat race of chasing our tails to figure out how to continue pivoting and changing to keep up with making a profit. And in the restaurant industry, it was always known that profits are razor thin. And we're talking about a 5% profit margin, 4 or 5 years ago. If you did a 10%, you're doing amazing.
Okay.
So that means, like, if you made $1 million in sales and you had a 10% profit margin at the end of the year, you made $100,000. Mm-hmm. And that's, if you didn't take a salary, that was your living.
Wow. And listen, I want to be very clear that I support workers making more money when they can make more money.
Mm-hmm.
I bring this up, though, because I remember when we have the expired tip credit, we've got minimum wage increase. And when some restaurant owners tried to speak up and tell city officials how this would impact them, they were shamed.
No one listened.
They were
no
shamed
one cared.
And they were harassed.
Correct.
So it was like you were silenced if you were a restaurant owner. And I know this isn't the only factor, but could you set up for us, what are the key factors that make it tough? Obviously, restaurant business is tough, period, right?
Right.
But make it especially tough in Seattle right now.
Right. Man, how many fingers I have on my hand? Because there's so many
permitting,
factors,
I know that's one for getting things done.
So yeah, permitting, First of all, like trying to open up your space from the get-go is always hard, from loans to finding investors to finding the money. So you're already either eating into your savings or you're on risk to pay someone back. Finding the labor now is very tough. Our labor pool is very minimum. And then the skilled labor that we do have, they're required to get, over $20 an hour. And half of them have the skill set to actually do the work of one person. They take multiple people to do what one or two servers or a cook did a couple years ago. So now you got to hire 2 people to do the job of one. The cost of food, the transportation of the food, the cost of the farmers, a lot of special restaurants are moving towards more convenient foods and ordering more processed foods because they don't want to hire so many people. It costs too much to go to the farmer that they used to support. All of those factors are increasing the cost. And as you stated before, the tip credit. Restaurant owners can't afford to pay their people $40 an hour at the end of the day. So it comes into now we're doing service charges in the tips, which everyone barks at, right? And that hurts because at the end of the day, you're paying $60 for a whole chicken, and now you're also getting a service charge on it. So that's $12 more or so that you're going to add onto that chicken. That's a $72 chicken now.
And something you said as a result of this, I believe it was the same post, that what we're going to have is a situation where a lot of the restaurants are owned by the same people,
right?
These big restaurant groups. Tell us about that.
Well, that's the leverage and the blessing and the curse. Like if you want to own a restaurant downtown, you're going to have some leverage. You're going to either have to have some skin in the game, meaning that you have multiple restaurants to say that you are a capable runner of restaurants, that you can run this restaurant that's going to cost you $15,000 a month to lease this space. That can you do that? A lot of landlords don't want to take a chance on someone who is not proven, and that's the case no matter what. So when the big guys, the Ethan Stolls and the Tom Douglas, can go up to bat and say they want a space, they have leverage. They can say, hey, I'm proven, I've done this.
But also you can get food because some of the businesses, the restaurants that are closing, these restaurants have been around for a while.
Right.
I mean, so those factors. But when you have, they also can probably buy in bulk, like buy bigger things, right? It's just
yeah. You can leverage that and say, hey, I'm gonna buy for my 7 restaurants right now and get a little bit of discount. But we're squeezing everybody. You know, we're squeezing the farmers to say, hey, I'm gonna buy 6 tons of your product over this year. Can you give me a $2 discount? So we're squeezing that person too. Right. So everyone's squeezing.
You all are listening to the voice of 2-time James Beard Award-winning chef Eduardo Jordan here on the Gee and Ursula Show. I was in a restaurant last week, and I was talking to the restaurant owner, and what we talked about is this new, I want to say this correctly, this new IG TikTok world right now, where it is, hey, I want to go to this place because I heard and saw on TikTok they got the good fried chicken. Or I saw they got the real good dessert. And what they were telling me is the restaurant plan of just coming in there, making reservations, that's kind of phasing out. People wanting to come in, post on Instagram, look, I got the new thing. Can you help us better understand how this TikTok IG world is having an impact on these restaurants?
I can't because I don't understand it myself. I mean, that's the influencer effect. And honestly, it's not healthy for our restaurant community because we're losing our identity. We're losing our culture. What will Seattle stand for and be known for anymore in the restaurant world? And honestly, when we distill it down and there's only a few people running the shows, that's what Seattle looks like. We're going to look like an Italian restaurant city and a place that just cooks only salmon. And we have more than that. We have so much identity here, from Filipino restaurants to Thai restaurants to amazing chefs that have traveled the world to cook their food. And now we have TikTok folks coming in saying, give me that special ice cream only. And you get a buzz for like a month and then people are gone again.
as opposed to building the relationships and the clientele, and you 100%. Come to your favorite place. I mean, I still have my favorite place in Mobile, Alabama, the Tiny Diny Diner, and I went there. I mean, there were just places that you went to. You know, so tell me if this is the case, because I don't know. I was talking earlier about housing and how right now you see a lot of startup houses not selling as fast, but the really expensive homes, selling. Mm-hmm. And is it going to be like that in the restaurant industry where it's hard to have a mom and pop afford? Because I remember you could get a $10 lunch back in the day. And it's like, what happened to that? And is it the big fancy? Like, what is the impact of this for us as consumers?
Let me think about this. Right now, I think there's like anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 full service or some type of restaurant registered in Seattle. So they're here. Mm-hmm. They're just being squeezed, and when one restaurant leaves, another one's going to come in. So we're going to continue having a cycle of restaurants still being here, but no one's building an identity. No one is becoming that iconic restaurant anymore. So we're going to have restaurants. They're just going to come and go. We're going to not fall in love with anything
music
anymore.
Now, how everything's just,
that's a whole long story there.
I know. I digress.
You guys are listening to the voice of Eduardo Jordan here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Okay, let's just say the mayor was to bring you in. 2 times James Beard Award winner, understands what's going on in the restaurant scene. Hey, I keep hearing restaurant owners tell us how hard it is in Seattle, how tough it is. He hires you to come into their office, and you are in charge of this for Seattle. What are the first 3 things that you would do to ease the pain of restaurant owners? And there's some folks listening, and I know his office is listening right now.
Absolutely.
What would you do?
Thank you for the question, G. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Put me on the spot here now. All right. Well, one, I won't do it on my own. I will have to build a committee, and I think some of the restaurant owners and folks that work in the restaurant industry are some of the hardest and smartest people in the industry. We deal with so many curveballs on a daily basis. So I would recruit a committee to help navigate this. But first and foremost, I think the tip credit is one of the biggest issues because restaurant owners cannot afford to pay $20 and $21 an hour plus required to do a service or a tip. Because we won't get workers working in our locations if they're only getting paid $20 an hour. Our servers are used to getting paid $38, $40, and $50 an hour.
And just so because I'm refreshing myself on the tip credit, it was one of those things where you didn't have to pay the $20 if they earned tips, right?
Correct.
And then they changed it to where
you have to pay both now.
You have to be okay.
Yeah,
so.
it's pretty much happening straight up that way. So,
all right, so that's one. The tip credit.
That's one.
Committee.
We need to put a cap on what the rent increases are for our rents in general. There's typically a 3% increase every year, and you got a 10-year lease. That's a big increase over 5 to 10 years, and we're feeling it because everything has gone up, and our revenue has not gone up. So we can't mitigate the changes in the rent and the changes in our taxes because the sale taxes are going up every other year. The minimum wage is going up every other year now. So those are that's something that we need to do, figure out how to cap or give some type of relief to these renters.
Well, at some point, like, I'm not actually joking. I mean, I know for a fact, whoever the mayor, these city council, they're going to have some type of committee that is devoted to this. Because I know we don't want to sit back and continue to watch these restaurants close down. These restaurants are the important reasons as to why Seattle, this area, is known for this spot or this spot. And it's just depressing when they continue to close down.
Can I say something else about,
Please.
like, we have some of the most wealthiest corporations here in Washington and specifically King County. And they get a lot of tax relief. And my theory is if these worker bees, these employees are putting it back into the community, we really wouldn't have this problem.
Listen.
Right?
Listen.
They're not.
You are preaching now.
They're not. And so, like, I had this thing like employees now are saving money. They cook at home. They end up going traveling. They spend a ton of money on their travel to France and New York and wherever else. And they come back home. They're like, hey, I'm on a strict budget now, so I can't put it back into the community. Now, if we are requiring Microsoft and Nintendo and Google and Amazon and all of these folks to say, hey, you guys have to spend it like it matters into the community, and we will then get our tax break by you showing, here's the receipts of the money
how you've invested in the community.
Community.
Incentivizing.
Exactly.
And maybe because I totally get the controversy around rent caps because you talked about the rent going up 3% each year. Maybe there's some kind of credit they give to those landlords for if you keep it stable, we're going to incentivize you this way. We have to get 100%, creative. 100%. And I just love the idea. Chef.
Can I drop a fact into the conversation for you? Because Microsoft has laid off like 15,000 people since May. During that time period, they reported $70 billion in revenue with $25 billion in profit. I don't know what your profit margin is, but that's 39%.
1.5% was.
Do you think there could be some tax relief, maybe for your business instead of them?
And this is what G is always talking about on the show. I'm a listener, so I know you talk about it. Just this huge gap between, and like I said, we're never saying that someone who's a CEO or in some kind of leadership shouldn't make more. No one is saying that. But if you look at the last 20 years, the gap has gotten wider and it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Like, how is it small business, 1% profit over here? And then they are part, I'm happy Microsoft is here. I'm happy Amazon is here. And they are partly why we've seen such an increase in the cost of living.
Correct. Yeah.
People knew they could afford these things, and so the prices went up.
I gotta let me slow it down, and I don't want to get too big picture here. I want to just make this very simple, and I want to talk to you about something here. A family, let's just say a couple, 2 people, go downtown Seattle, right? They go downtown. They don't even drink alcohol. They just want to go and get them a nice meal. They got to go pay to park, and we know what that is, right?
$20, done.
Right. I go to this restaurant. They order this, I order that, just water for the drinks, and then the bill comes. When the bill comes, the bill is like, ooh, and then there's that service charge, and then there's, hey, by the way, you want a tip?
Mm-hmm.
And you mean to tell me we're going to spend $100 inside of the place? That doesn't even count parking. So in totality with gas, we're talking about $125, $130.
Yeah. Family of two, not even 3 and 4 yet.
So do you understand how that service charge can really just make people need to understand? Like, I don't like the service charge. Whenever I see it, I get mad about it. Tell me why I shouldn't be mad about that service charge, because it makes me mad, man.
It's allowing us to have a living wage, not even a minimum wage now. And honestly, like, it's important that our employees are able to sustain a living wage here in Seattle. Mm-hmm. If not, like, we're not gonna have any workers in the restaurant. Point blank, they can't live here in Seattle. So we're almost forcing the arm that you have to assist these owners to support the living wage, which is required now to live here. Mm-hmm. Not even just the minimum wage.
Or how about the city have specific housing for people who work in certain industries, and
London
you don't make a ton.
It's pretty amazing what they're doing. Yeah.
We need some creative solutions. We really do. And, someone texted in about one of her biggest reasons for not eating in Seattle has to do with crime. Mm-hmm. I feel safe going to restaurants in Seattle, but you nodded your head like you get what this person's saying.
Listen, I had my car broken downtown, and I'm now been skeptical of going down. I fear going downtown to park my car at night, So, but
okay,
we don't want that. If someone asks, like, why is Bellevue doing better? Well, they got a little safer parking. They got a denser community, and people are spending. So people just feel more comfortable going to places that you're not going to be coming back and your stuff is gone.
Ooh, this is a real conversation. I love it.
Eduardo, you know what? I would love to have you back on sooner rather than later, because I don't think we're done with this discussion. Right. There is more to talk about, and I think that when they're running for mayor coming up,
they're listening.
I hope they're listening, because this topic right here is going to be, it will continue to be a huge one. Thank you so much for your time, my man. Absolutely. All right. Hey, coming up next, it's time for Agree to Disagree. Gee and Ursula with Angela. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by MyNorthwest.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. I'm here with good news. Protecting your home has never been easier, thanks to our flexible financing options that can fit any budget. With Guardian's acclaimed services, you can upgrade or repair your roof, gutters, attic insulation, and even prevent moss without straining your wallet. Plus, it's all backed by our Guardian Guarantee. Why wait? Start guarding your home today. Call to hear about our flexible financing options or visit guardianroofing.com.
Have you stopped to think about how you feel today compared to 10 years ago? Are you noticing changes? Less energy, slow recovery, trouble focusing, maybe even weight gain? What if you could turn back the clock and feel stronger, sharper, and more alive? At Longevity Medical Clinic, we help people do exactly that. For over 3 decades, we've been helping thousands of men and women find out what's really going on inside their bodies and take action to feel better and live longer. With advanced diagnostics and personalized hormone and supplement plans, we uncover what's been holding you back and show you how to optimize your health. Our patients often say, "Now I finally finally understand what's happening and what to do about it. Take the first step. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit longevitymedicalclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better. Live longer. Let's do it together. Call 866-86-YOUNG.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, we've got a new administration. What have we seen as a result at the IRS?
Well, the result that I think everyone is seeing is, unfortunately, reduction in staff.
And yet people think that because of those reductions, they're in a better spot.
Well, it's not necessarily the case, because the IRS is still going to work with the staff that they have. And in fact, their collection activity is going up.
But now is also the best time to get something done that could be favorable to the taxpayer who owes.
It's very interesting. I've had 2 cases now that I was able to get settled with the IRS fairly quickly and with some excellent results. I think they're just trying to get any case where there's a real live person working on it through the system quicker. They're needing to handle a lot more cases. The caseload isn't going to slow down.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Open Phone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place, so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Open Phone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Open Phone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Open Phone. Open Phone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Open Phone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. Openphone.com/FREE.
Bathfitter just hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. Celebrate with payments as low as $125 a month. A beautiful bath installed in one day, no mess, and a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. It is a rough morning for the stock market. Chief Market Strategist Michael Farr.
Markets and investors always hate uncertainty, and this new question about tariffs introduces a lot of it.
There's uncertainty because a federal appeals court ruled President Trump's reciprocal tariffs are illegal, but they can stay in place while the case is appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. A judge has ruled it was illegal for President Trump to send the National Guard to Los Angeles during immigration protests. The judge says the military cannot be used for domestic law enforcement. Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
What is really clear here is that the courts are starting to set limits on what Trump can do with the National Guard.
That ruling will likely be appealed as Trump considers sending troops to other cities. But a mayor in Illinois is saying, not here.
We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago.
The White House border czar is suggesting sending the National Guard to New York, Portland, and Seattle, too. Demonstrators gathered in Seattle and other cities for Labor Day marches.
Hundreds joined the national protest called Workers Over Billionaires. They marched through Capitol Hill to the Mexican consulate, where KIRO 7 TV captured Attorney General Nick Brown talk about protecting workers' rights.
All of us trying to work collectively to make Washington State a better, a safer, and a healthier place.
Hundreds at the march protested several other issues as well, from cuts to Medicaid to the U.S. role in Gaza. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
In Gaza, authorities say the need for food, water, and basic supplies is dire. Ahmed Kamal Janina is an assistant professor there.
It is a battle for survival. People are struggling on a daily basis.
A new earthquake has hit Afghanistan as the country works to recover from the powerful 6.0 magnitude quake that rocked the country on Sunday. At least 1,400 people have died. At least 85 climate scientists are rejecting a recent report published by the U.S. Energy Department. CBS's David Schechter explains.
Major reports like the ones from the UN, those could take hundreds of scientists years to complete, and they debate every aspect of their work in public. The work is then peer-reviewed by outside experts. By contrast, the Department of Energy report, which we're all talking about now, was written by 5 scientists hand-selected by the government. They wrote the report in just a few weeks. There was no public scrutiny or any outside peer review of their work.
On Wall Street, the Dow is down 415 points, NASDAQ off 279. Nate Connors is at the KIRO News Radio traffic desk.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Heather. We West Seattle Bridge, we have a disabled vehicle. It is fully blocking the on-ramp to northbound I-5, and that's why you're sitting in a bumper-to-bumper backup at Highway 9 now. It's just the left lane. If you're heading to South 5, that right lane is still wide open. So drivers are being detoured up Beacon Hill, where you need to turn around near Jefferson Golf Course and then head back down the hill to get onto northbound I-5. No estimated time for this to reopen. Over Tiger Mountain, eastbound 18 slows from the summit over to I-90 due to road work. Snoqualmie Pass, if you're heading that way, eastbound 90, we've got a 5-mile bumper-to-bumper backup as you head up toward the summit due to road work. South 5 through JBLM, we're seeing our daily backup there near the main gate. Tacoma to Olympia at 45 minutes. Linwood to Seattle, 20 minutes. Bellevue to Renton looking great at 15 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Partly sunny skies with highs in the mid-70s. It's 65 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is Gee Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is hanging out with us today. Hey, before we get to agree to disagree, Chef, Angela, I want to ask you, do you have any final thoughts after that interview that we just did with Eduardo Jordan? If you guys missed that, please check out the podcast later, because I think that this discussion centered around local restaurants closing in Seattle is something that we all should be alarmed with. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. For me, my final thought is that it's a sad situation, but we are not powerless. We can do something. We need to press our leaders to not just, have policies that sound great but don't do anything. There are real things that we can do. He identified. You asked him the 3 things. What are the 3 things they can do? Here are the things.
Yep. He talked about that tip credit coming back.
Talking about the tip credit, talking about the rent increases. And
the main one, he talked about where Chef made it, and Chef brought up how Microsoft had laid off, and we all know the story. They laid off 15,000 people since May and turned around and done a $25 billion credit, and that was a 39% profit margin. Or, good for Microsoft, right? Good for them. But they get tax credits. Maybe it's time now for the restaurant industry, who would be lucky to have a 5% profit margin. So, again, just wanted to bring that up. I think that this is going to be a huge topic for the mayor campaign and all that going forward. So, Chef, agree to disagree, brought to you by Garden Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
I did not know this, but I read in the Seattle Times this morning that we are the #1 cruise port on the entire West Coast, with almost 300 sailings just this year. And you'd think, hey, we've got this great amenity right in our backyard. We probably use it. No. So according to new Nielsen data, only 17% of Seattle area residents have taken a cruise in the past 3 years, making us 39th out of the 50 biggest U.S. markets. Like, even Salt Lake City and Vegas beat us. And Angela, the way the Times framed this is that most Seattle residents don't take advantage of living near a cruise port, implying that we should be out cruising more. Should we be cruising more? Is that the ideal vacation?
We absolutely should be cruising more from someone who's never been on a cruise.
Really?
I've never
seem
been
like a
on
cruise
one.
person.
I would love to go on a cruise. To me, it just makes so much sense. While you sleep, the cruise is taking you to a new destination. It's the perfect kind of buffet of travel. So you can see a lot of things a lot faster. And I love that part. I also love the idea of being able to have various types of entertainment and food. I can't wait to go on a cruise. I really want to go on one. And how cool would it be to get on one right where you live?
So I've never been on a cruise before. And I've heard from some of you who have been on cruises. As you all know, Ursula is the queen of cruises. The thing that scares me about a cruise is that you are committed. And I don't know that I've ever been on a vacation where I'm committed, if that makes sense. For an example, you go somewhere, you fly somewhere, or you drive somewhere, and here was your plans. Your plans were to do this. But then you made an audible. Something else sounded better. And so you got out of that plan and you went to go do something else. Something scares me about if it's not good, what you gonna do? There's nothing you can do.
Well, you go to the next port. I mean, it stops in one port, and you have a lot of options to choose from when you get there.
What about the ship? What if the ship is just,
Like you're not having. Gee, do you? If you go to see a movie, do you sit on the aisle so you have an escape route? Because that's something I do.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, so I like having an out too.
I want to get a psychologist, so this is very interesting.
Larry in the 24206 says, I would never want to go on a cruise. And then some of the stories on cruise, like I think it's 50-50 for me. I talked to the Ursulas of the world. They love the cruise.
All right,
I talked to someone else. It was the worst nightmare.
Here's what I think should happen.
What's
you
that?
had never gone to musical theater, and you went and you loved it. I think that a cruise line should sponsor us. We've never been. I say we get a cruise line to sponsor us. We will go investigate.
File reports. Yeah,
And we'll
my
make
ties
sure we
in
have
hand.
a therapist on the ship to make sure G's okay with not calling an audible on the direction.
And then another thing I heard, that on those cruises, the Wi-Fi isn't that great.
Oh, that's critical for you.
It's vacation.
Okay, the people who say though, like, oh gosh, those are floating petri dishes. There's all these outbreaks of foodborne illness. Yeah, that's true, but it's true in the same way that saying, Seattle's totally unsafe. Yeah, crime happens, but, tens of thousands of people go there every single day without any kind of incident.
Absolutely.
My issue with it is it's plastic. Everything is plastic. It's a completely artificially constructed environment. It's a floating environmental travesty. But nothing says authenticity like getting off a boat with $10,000, like 10,000 other people to go buy tchotchkes.
But
That's
you can
not
get on a
tourism.
boat. But you can get on a boat that's small. You could do a boat with only 100 people. I understand that you have a lot of different options when it comes to cruises and the kind of experience. You can get on a small boat that only does the rivers, and you can have a yacht. Ta-ta.
The one thing, it's so what decisions do you have to make once you get on that boat? You're just like, do I want lobster or steak?
That sounds great. So who wants to sponsor us?
That's somebody. We should have Ursula sponsor us.
Right.
By the way, I'm going to try something new. Chef, okay, full transparency. Since the Gee and Ursula Show has been on the air, we have been trying different things at 1147. All of it always goes back to your text messages. So I'm going to try something. It might not work, by the way. It's going to be what's on your mind. You text in what's on your mind, and then we'll see those text messages, and we'll see some, and we'll weigh in on them. So we'll start it now. Let's see how it goes. What's on your mind? 888-973-5476. Text us.
And we're going to respond live.
Next.
Love
Gee and
it.
Ursula with Angela.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks. Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Yikey Wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Cold weekend and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at OurRealSuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
With over 20 new home communities throughout the Puget Sound area, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. Learn more at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
This is the Gee Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell hanging out. By the way, Angela, is it me or did this show go by really fast? Because I actually looked at it. I didn't even realize we were in the 11 o'clock hour. I solicited your thoughts about what's on your mind, and you all came through. 612 says, what's on my mind is how we constantly say there's solutions for all these big problems, but no one wants to sacrifice. The business owners can't, the working people can't, the government can't. At what point are we going to be bold for humanity's future and stop putting Band-Aids over bullet holes? This keeps me awake at night. We have got to do something or humanity will enter a new dark age.
Okay, so about the lack of sex in today's society.
She puts his glasses back on.
I read an article years ago about how chlorine lowers testosterone. You think how much chlorine is in our system and it's everywhere. I believe the article was written by the Monroe Reptile Zoo guy. Always wondered about that. That's from Wendy. And I just wanted to say this because we were talking about all the reasons that could be why people are not getting down. However, I don't want to make you more uncomfortable. People are not engaging in intimacy. And one of them was, yes, how much of it is our nutrition? You know, we talked about technology, but Wendy's saying, you know what, I suspect something in the water.
Okay, because we have to do the fact check on things like that. There's no evidence that chlorine exposure.
Thank you for doing the fact check.
There are endocrine disruptors in our food supply that certainly do cause an impact.
Thank you. You okay?
Chef, what was that? What was that last thing you said?
Endocrine disruptors, our endocrine system that regulates our hormones.
Come on, man. 253 says, now this is what's on their mind. 253 says, I know pedestrians have 30 seconds to cross the lights, but do you need to walk that slow? It is impolite for me to nudge the nose of my truck to give them a hint to walk faster.
Listen, he got me fired up with that one. So now, of course, if you have a disability, okay, fine. But the majority of people I encounter, they just don't care that you're keeping them, that they are keeping you waiting. They are on their phone, listening to music, doop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doo, as no one has anyone. And I understand you have a right to be there, but sometimes I am being polite by letting you go if you don't have necessarily the right of way. It's not kind.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys serious right now?
I'm so serious. It's one thing if you have a disability, like totally understand, but this is what they do. They'll come, I mean, it's just look like you care that I'm trying to get to work, you know? Like they're just like.
Who's the problem in this scenario, Angela? Is it the person who takes 25 seconds to cross a street or the person who's running late because of whatever choices you decided to make that morning?
Running late is just, you know, it's like someone giving you the wave. If they let you in and you give them a wave. If someone lets you cross and it isn't necessarily at a marked place, you should wave and move expeditiously.
Kyle.
Chef is not liking my hot take on it.
Kyle in Bellingham says, those folks making less than living wage, those folks become homeless and then drug addicted statistics. I saw it play out in Portland 10 years ago. Younger people had a job and a decent rent, were evicted for no-cause evictions and moved into a tent without a safety net and nowhere but the streets. Angela?
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to do too many other things.
Oh.
So, okay, where am I at? We were talking about the affair.
Okay.
Remember the scenario? So basically, a woman was calling another woman trying to find out what happened.
Yeah.
So 206 says, speaking from my perspective as a wife whose husband had an affair, I wanted to talk to the other woman. She knew us personally. Ultimately, was my husband's responsibility. But I also wanted to ask her why she thought it was okay to engage in an affair with my husband, knowing he was married, had a family, and then smile and be nice to my face and to the kids, while all along engaging in behavior that could destroy us. Maybe women need this confrontation more than men. I don't know. But I was very angry at her and my husband. It felt like an extra layer of betrayal because she knew he was married and she knew our family. So as you were saying that you don't understand why people need to talk to the other person.
Right. Our good buddy Greg in Las Vegas says, on a bike trail, 2 bikers riding. You ring the bell because you want to pass and they get mad because you rang. I get mad every time. Every time I hear that bing, bing, it just startles me.
Are you out on the Burt Gilman or?
I've been on some, I'm on some paths when I go down to Ruston. I'm down there.
Yeah.
And then bing, bing. I don't know why I shouldn't get mad.
Oh, it's probably the bikers just hoping that you as a pedestrian don't take too long to get out of their way.
Oh, that's a good point.
Did you do the news one?
No, go
I
ahead.
like this one. I used to enjoy listening to the news, but now I can't even stand it. It's destroying my life hearing it. Yesterday, I felt that. And I don't know which perspective she's coming from, but for me, it was just so painful to watch. It's painful to watch people suffering. It's painful looking at the images from Gaza yesterday. It was just, it broke my heart. I had to turn, and it's not that I'm trying to turn away from the issue, but it's heartbreaking.
All right, it's time for Words to Live By. Angela, what you got for us?
Oh, gosh. Okay. This comes to us from one of my favorite thought leaders, poets, Mark Nepo. Whatever truth we feel compelled to withhold, no matter how unthinkable it is to imagine ourselves telling it, not to is a way of spiritually holding our breath. You can only do it for so long. You get that?
Good. It's good stuff. Nick, what do you got?
Well, it seems a certain hush was spread throughout the morning roads while the final days of summer turned the page for a slower mode. And I'm certain many younger folks were circling this day as they make their way back to those schools where they all learn to say. And maybe if G taught a class for speaking and chit-chat, you'd learn to get out and touch real grass, whatever he meant by that. Just remember the key to success, folks. Get out and touch some real grass now. Don't worry about no endocrines, because I don't even know what that is.
On your left. Bing, bing. On your left.
They are kind of aggro.
Oh, my goodness. Angela, it was fun today. Did you have fun? Did you have fun, seriously? Angela, you're not paying attention.
Oh, no, I'm paying attention now. I had a blast today.
Did you? Okay.
I had so much fun. I love the spontaneity. I just think everyone on the text line.
Yeah.
You all just bring me joy. Yeah. I mean, from just the nice greetings to the interesting takes, sharing your lives. I just love it. And then Chef always coming in. I love being here and being part of the team.
Thanks, Angela. Thanks,
you.
Chef. Thank you, Nick. The Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Help create a future with no more drunk driving victims. Join Molly Shen and the Davis Law Group for Move with MAD, September 13th at Red Square, Central Plaza on the UW campus. Move with MAD raises awareness and funds to help end drunk driving and prevent underage drinking. Every step taken and every dollar raised can help keep our families and communities safe. Sign up to walk or join the team at madwashington.com. Move with MAD, September 13th on the UW campus. Register today.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand.
That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE. Go to k2visionrle.com and schedule a free Zoom consultation today. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Permanently.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore, and every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
KIRO FM and